there, I'm Roben-Marie Smith, and I'm a mixed media artist. I'm an art journaler, instructor, and blogger, and I've been in the industry for over 10 years. Now, one thing I love to create anything practically. I enjoy sharing what I know and sharing ideas with others and helping them to not only be encouraged, but to find joy in the art of creating. So I get asked a lot of questions, all kinds of different questions, everything from how I got started to my favorite paint and my favorite pens and paper, and basically just how do you do what you do. So I'm going to answer a few questions that have been submitted, and hopefully that will shed a little light on who I am and what I do. So one of the questions I'm asked a lot is, do you have an art degree? And the answer to that is no, I don't have an art degree. Now, I was always a creative person as a child. I loved creating just about anything. I made my own stuffed animals. I made jewelry, Christmas ornaments. I think a lot of us, if we were creative as young people, probably did. I'll never forget the constant asking of my parents whenever some new kit came out or I saw something new that I wanted to try. I always would ask them, please, get that for me. I mean, to wire wrapping, batiking, hook and rug. I don't even know what that's called. Back in the day, paint by number, you name it. I wanted to do it. So anyway, mom and dad always were really good about encouraging me in that direction. Well, as I got older and I wanted to pursue more and learn more about art, it was time to consider what I would do with the rest of my life. And I really wanted to do something in art or art related. But high school counselors, they encourage you, you can't make a living at that. You have to find something that you can do that will provide you an income. So when I went to college, I decided that I was going to go into computer programming. Now, back then, it was 1985. And so that was huge back then. And so that's what I did. And I didn't dislike it. I mean, there was something creative about it. You're creating code, you're writing code to get the code to do something. But I don't know, it just didn't work for me. And so I switched my major over to public relations, and I thought, well, that can be creative because you're taking advertising classes and you're taking marketing classes, and there's some creativity in that. But I still really didn't love it. And I would watch the students walking across the quad with their little toolboxes and their pads of, all their work, and I was so envious. So I stuck with that and I graduated with a degree in public relations. And I did go to work for a public relations firm, and I actually did get to do some things that were pretty creative. I worked a lot on special events and planning events, and that was great. I loved it. But I still always had that desire to do something artistic and related to art. And so I started dabbling in all kinds of things. Now, I had kept journals as a young person, but I really kind of got away from that a lot in college. I did some, but not to the level I was doing when I was in high school and junior high school. So I started looking into everything, all kinds of stuff. I kept back up. I got back up into my journaling, and I tried everything from flower arranging to different types of sewing, crochet. I wanted to do something creative, and so I did. Well, it was in somewhere around 1998, 1997, I found creating keepsakes, the scrapbooking, that started becoming pretty big. And so I liked it. I thought, well, this is creative and I like it. There was hardly anything on the market back then at all to buy except for, creative keepsakes. Now, not creative keepsakes. I forget the name of it. But anyway, then I found Stampin' Up! And that was stamping. And I actually really liked that. I liked it a little bit more. And I decided after that to become a consultant for the company so that I could get my stamps at a better price. And then I was able to do the parties and do something creative outside of my full-time job. So I ended up moving to Florida right around 1998, and I decided to continue doing the stamping. And then a stamp store opened in my town. and my eyes were open to a whole different area of stamping and a little bit of mixed media, because at that time, Stampin' Up! Very not real creative, not very artistic, and I thought, wow, there's a whole other world out here of things that I could choose from. And so that's when it started. And I kind of went from there and I started dabbling a little bit. And then the store owner asked me to teach at her store. And so I did. And I loved it. I loved teaching. And then I remember being encouraged to submit my work, submit some projects to Art and Soul in Portland. And I did, and I got accepted. And so I started teaching nationally, and then I got asked to come to teach at some stores around the country, and I just fell in love with it. And then one day I was sitting in the back room at the store, and I was ordering stamps because I needed some stamps for a class. And I thought to myself, or at least I thought, and then I said out loud to a friend that was sitting there, I really just ought to do these myself. I ought to make my own stamps, and then I can have what I want. And I remember her saying, yeah, you should. And so I did. So I started Paper Bag Studios more as an outlet just to create stamps that I could use for myself. And then people actually started liking them and wanting them. And then the store there carried them, and other stores started carrying them. So it went from there. So that's kind of the story behind Paper Bag Studios. And then I continued to teach and continued to travel and just continued to keep learning. And little by little, that hobby became my full-time job. And I no longer worked for actually I was working for a sports marketing company at the time. And I left that job and pursued this full-time. And I've loved it. Every minute of it has been great. Has it been hard? Yes. Has it been sometimes difficult? Absolutely. Now, I say I love every minute of it. I don't love the bookkeeping part of it, but that comes with the territory. So I guess I could say that part of it I don't like very much. So so that's where I'm at today. I stopped teaching in person for quite a few years and started doing online teaching. And with that, I have been doing many online classes. And I love the tech side of things. So I do my own work on my own blog, and I do a lot of my own things. And so that is my story. I think that's all my story. But anyway, I get asked that a lot. How did you get started? What do you do? How did you get there? And so that's pretty much how it came about and how I got started. So I appreciate the questions. You can always pop me questions and email them, drop them in the comments, and I will gather those up, and I'm hoping to do more of these where I can share with you a little bit more about myself, about what I do, share with you ideas that can help you as well. So anyway, thanks so much, and I really appreciate you being here, and have an awesome day.